Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Magu and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges rich countries of G7 to support India's efforts for green growth, clean energy, sustainable lifestyles and global well-being. Prime Minister holds several bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit. 47th meeting of GST Council to be convened from tomorrow in Chandigarh. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to chair the meeting. Opposition's presidential poll candidate Yashwant Sinha files nomination papers. Supreme Court grants interim relief to rebel Shiv Sena MLAs, says no decision to be taken on their disqualification till 12th of July. Supreme Court refuses to pass any interim order on floor test till next hearing. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists gunned down by security forces in Troopji area of South Kashmir's Golgam district. In women's cricket, Sri Lanka defeat India by 7 wickets in third and final T20 international at Dambulla. And in tennis, Wimbledon Championship kicks off in London today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged the rich countries of G7 to support India's efforts for green growth, clean energy, sustainable lifestyles and global well-being. He said a huge market for clean energy technologies is emerging in India today. Mr. Modi asked the G7 countries to invest in research, innovation and manufacturing in this field. He added that during the pandemic, India found many creative ways to use digital technology in the health sector. He urged the G7 countries to help India take these innovations to other developing countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also stressed that energy access should not be the privilege of only the rich, as a poor family has the same rights on energy. He was speaking on the second-day session on climate, energy and health at Schloss Elmau in Germany. Mr. Modi said 17% of the world's population resides in India, but the country's contribution to global carbon emissions is only 5%. He highlighted that the main reason behind this is lifestyle, which is based on the theory of coexistence with nature. Mr. Modi said India's dedication to its climate commitments is evident from the nation's performance. He pointed out that India achieved the target of 40% energy capacity from non-fossil sources 9 years before time. The target of 10% ethanol blending in petrol has been achieved 5 months before time. He stated that India has the world's first fully solar power operated airport, and India's huge railway system will become net zero carbon emitter in this decade. Former diplomat G. Parthasarathi opines that Prime Minister's far-reaching speech reflects India's transparent policy on energy conservation.
Prime Minister Modi today delivered a really far-reaching speech which spelled out India's policy in working in cooperation with the rest of the world and particularly the advanced countries. And he laid a great emphasis on the need to curb the growing conditions of the environment, that which were becoming worse. And what he suggested was that the developed countries, G7 as they are called, should join India and cooperate with us in innovative technologies, digital technologies, to curb pollution and to really give the world a better environment to live in.
The Prime Minister will participate in another G7 session on food security and advancing gender equality later today. He held bilateral meetings with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Mr. Modi and the German Chancellor discussed ways to further diversify the India-Germany friendship for the benefit of the people and the entire planet. The Group of 7 G7 is an intergovernmental political grouping consisting of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK and the US. The German presidency has invited Argentina, India, Indonesia, Senegal and South Africa to the G7 summit in Elmau, Bavaria. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is attending the G7 summit held in the Alpine castle of Schloss Elmau in southern Germany following an invitation from German Chancellor Scholz. The 47th meeting of the GST Council will be convened from tomorrow in Chandigarh. The meeting will be chaired by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The two-day meeting of the GST Council will be attended by Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary, Finance Ministers of States and Union Territories, and senior officers from Union Government and States. Last GST Council's meeting which was held in New Delhi, had recommended to defer the decision to change the rates on textiles. The GST Council had decided to retain the status quo on GST rate on textiles at 5%.
Home Minister Amit Shah will inaugurate the National Conference on Human Rights in Indian Culture and Philosophy in New Delhi on 30th of this month. He will also present the NHRC Human Rights Short Film Competition 2021 Awards. The NHRC is organizing a two-day conference in collaboration with the Indira Gandhi National Centre for the Arts. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will be the chief guest of the valedictory session. Our correspondent reports that the conference is expected to be highly significant in understanding of human rights, which formed an integral and defining essence of India's socio-culture milieu since time immemorial. Leading academicians, scholars, legal experts, jurists, practitioners, and researchers have been invited to explore and discuss the various issues. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh held a video conference with Senior Defence Minister of Malaysia, YB Dato Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussain today. A wide range of issues concerning bilateral, regional and defence industrial cooperation were discussed during the meeting. Mr. Singh congratulated Dato Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussain for assuming the office of the Senior Defence Minister in August last year. Both the ministers expressed the intent to further boost the already strong India-Malaysia defence cooperation. The two ministers discussed the existing defence cooperation activities and frameworks and ways to further enhance them under the existing Malaysia-India defence cooperation meeting framework. The next MidCom is scheduled to be held in July this year, and it was decided to use this platform for a deeper engagement in defence.
Union Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Electronics and Information Technology Rajiv Chandrasekhar has inaugurated the newly set up incubation facility at Nirma University in Ahmedabad today. Speaking on this occasion, Mr. Chandrasekhar said this new incubation facility of Nirma University will boost the startup ecosystem. He said India has shown its capabilities to the world in recent years. The minister said we've been on the back foot for the last 65 years, but now we are on the front foot and are building our economy through empowering the youth. He also felicitated and honored the rising change makers and startups at Nirma University. Mr. Chandrasekhar is scheduled to visit Mehsana, Anand and Vadodara and interact with students and startups during his two-day visit to Gujarat. This visit is a follow-up to the earlier visit to Ahmedabad last month, where he interacted with over 100 startups and 1,000 students.
A quantity of 187,86,000 metric ton of wheat has been procured by the government so far in Rabi marketing season 2022-23, benefiting about 17,85,000 farmers with minimum support price value of over 37,852 crore. A quantity of over 860 lakh metric ton of paddy, including kharif crop over 755 lakh metric ton and Rabi crop of over 105 lakh metric ton has been procured so far, benefiting over 125 lakh farmers with MSP value of over 1,68,720 crore. Over 197 crore 11 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said the recovery rate is currently at 98.57%. Total number of recoveries has reached 4,27,87,606. India's active caseload currently stands at 94,420. Active cases stand at 0.22%. Daily positivity rate is at 5.62% and weekly positivity rate is at 3.39%.
The Health Ministry today said that more than 193 crore 53 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through the centre's free-of-cost channel and through direct state procurement category. He said more than 11 crore 99 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories to be administered. The presidential candidate of the opposition parties, Yashwant Sinha, filed his nomination papers today. Earlier, NDA candidate Troopji had filed a nomination on Friday. Presidential elections will be held on the 18th of July and counting of votes will be taken up on the 21st of July.
The Supreme Court has granted interim relief to Eknath Shinde and his Rebel MLA group by extending the time to file response to disqualification notice sent by Deputy Speaker till the 12th of July. Justices Suryakant and J.B. Pardiwala extended the deadline, which was set to expire by 5:30 p.m. earlier today. The Apex Court ordered for counter-affidavit to be filed within 5 days and posted the case for further hearing on the 11th of July. The Supreme Court also refused to pass any interim order on the plea that there should not be any floor tests in the Assembly till the 11th of July. Meanwhile, the court also directed the Maharashtra government to protect life, liberty and property of 39 rebel Shiv Sena MLAs and their family members. In the meantime, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray today reallocated portfolios of 9 ministers by citing their absence and works that need to be taken up in public interest. Eknath Shinde's portfolio of Urban Affairs and PWD has been given to Subhash Desai. A report.
The political crisis in Maharashtra seems to be far from over. However, rebel leader from the Shinde camp, Deepak Kesarkar, said that Shiv Sena chief Uddhav Thackeray should dissolve the house and form a new government with the BJP. He said a time should not come where a no-confidence motion is moved against the government. He stated that the MVA government has lost majority in the Legislative Assembly and people of the state are aware about it. Even though Shiv Sena leadership has appointed Ajay Chaudhary as the group leader, Kesarkar said Eknath Shinde remains the group leader of Shiv Sena in the house as he has the majority of MLAs with him. Meanwhile, Aditya Thackeray too claimed that Uddhav Thackeray-led faction is in touch with around 20 MLAs who are now with the Shinde camp. The BJP, which has maintained silence on the political developments in the state so far, held a core committee meeting which was chaired by leader of the opposition Devendra Fadnavis. The meeting was attended by senior party leaders including Chandrakant Patil, Sudhir Mungantiwar, Ashish Shelar and other senior leaders and MLAs of the party. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Union Minister for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSME, Narendra, has said that the government is committed to achieving the goals of holistic development and self-reliance of MSMEs under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In his message on the occasion of the International MSME Day today, Mr. Rane said, MSMEs are the backbone of the Indian economy and global sustainable development. He said MSMEs are contributing in providing livelihood opportunities to local communities.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges rich countries of G7 to support India's efforts for green growth, clean energy, sustainable lifestyles and global well-being. Prime Minister holds several bilateral meetings on the sidelines of summit. 47th meeting of GST Council to be convened from tomorrow in Chandigarh. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to chair the meeting. Opposition's presidential poll candidate Yashwant Sinha files nomination papers. Supreme Court grants interim relief to rebel Shiv Sena MLAs, says no decision to be taken on their disqualification till 12th of July. Supreme Court refuses to pass any interim order on floor test till next hearing. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists gunned down by security forces in Troopji area of South Kashmir's Golgam district. In women's cricket, Sri Lanka defeat India by 7 wickets in third and final T20 international at Dambulla. And in tennis, Wimbledon Championships kicks off in London today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
क्या आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? आपके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो लाया है प्रोग्राम अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जहां हमें आप प्रश्न भेजते हैं व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करते हैं abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे एक्सपर्ट देते हैं आपके प्रश्नों के उत्तर हर शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे। इस वर्ग का विषय है आधुनिक भारतीय इतिहास यानी कि मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री और आपके सवाल प्राप्त करने की अंतिम तारीख 29 जून। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
President Ramnath Kovind today stressed upon the social support for remarriage of widows and destitute women and their economic independence so that these women can live a life full of dignity and self-respect. The President was interacting with the destitute women of Krishna Kutir, a government-run ashram in Vrindavan of Mathura district in Uttar Pradesh. Speaking on the occasion, the President said the country should come forward to stop the ill treatment being given to the widows and destitute women. Mr. Kovind said that the Uttar Pradesh government is helping the destitute and widows and has made such ashrams at other places like Gorakhpur, Varanasi and Lucknow as well. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter Rajnarayan Misra, who was given capital punishment on the 27th of June 1944. A resident of Bhisampur, Uttar Pradesh, Misra was a Quit India activist. He was involved in the killing of the Thanedar at Mahmudabad Riyasat on 14th of August 1942. He also took part in a number of acts of sabotage in the district and collected arms incognito for the purpose.
The police declared Rajnarayan Mishra an absconder after failing to arrest him from his village and put a reward on his head. He reached Madhya Pradesh under disguise but was arrested for 2 months for taking part in a protest rally.
He spent another 6 months in a Bombay jail under an assumed name for taking part in the movement. Misra was finally identified and arrested from Meerut while staying at the home of a Gandhi Ashram worker. He was brought back to Kheri and was tried under the Arms Act for murder and sabotage.
On the 27th of June 1944, Rajnarayan Misra was awarded capital punishment and hanged at Lucknow jail on the 9th of December 1944 at the young age of 24. AIR News salutes the great freedom fighter.
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Ashwini Gohar, who died on the 27th of June 1934. Born in 1906, Gohar was a teacher at a high school in Chittagong. He was one of the backstage organizers of Surya Sen's group of revolutionaries and aided the revolutionaries after the Chittagong armory raid.
Gohar was arrested on the 25th of April 1931 and detained in the Presidency Jail, Hijli Camp Jail and the Midnapore Central Jail. He was declared mentally unstable and unconditionally released on the 20th of February 1934. Ashwini Gohar died on the 27th of June 1934. We salute the great freedom fighter. We also remember nationalist Mool Singh, who died on the 27th of June 1925. Singh was a resident of Jaranwala, district Lailpur, now in Pakistan. He joined the British Indian Army but resigned when he heard of the atrocities committed on the people at Guru Ka Bagh Morcha Amritsar in 1922.
Mol Singh participated in the Jatha to Bhai Phiru Gurudwara Sangat Sahib, Lahore in 1924 against the British. He was arrested by the police and given rigorous imprisonment for 2.5 years. Mol Singh was tortured in detention and died during internment on the 27th of June 1925 at the age of 40. We salute the great patriot.
We also remember Martyr Marbeh Singh, who took part in the First War of Independence in 1857. Singh took part in the struggle for freedom from foreign rule in the Bombay Presidency and also offered arms to the independence activists in his region.
He was caught by the British and tried for sedition and rebellion against the British. He was sentenced to imprisonment and sent to the Andaman Islands, where he died in captivity on the 27th of June, 1859. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In Manipur, 30 students and 4 teachers of the state have joined the exchange program organized under the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat with the partner state Madhya Pradesh. The student exchange program, which commenced from today, will be held till the 1st of July in Madhya Pradesh state. Speaking to AIR News, Srimati Ranjita Devi Rajkumari, who led the school students team, said that the students of Manipur will also experience food and culture, among many other things, of Madhya Pradesh as part of the exchange program.
My name is Ranjita Devi Rajkumari, a teacher by profession. I, along with 19 students from my state, is visiting the state of Madhya Pradesh for attending Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat EBSD program initiated by Ministry of Education, Government of India. It is a 5-day long program. During this period, all our students will be able to learn lots about the state of Madhya Pradesh in the field of sports, culture, freedom fighter, religious places, and their food habits.
Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat program aims to enhance interaction and promote mutual understanding between people of different states and union territories through the concept of state-UT pairing.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists were gunned down today by security forces in an encounter that broke out between security forces and terrorists at Naupara Kherpora in Troopji area of South Kashmir's Golgam district today. The joint operation in the area was carried out by security forces after the receipt of a specific intelligence input about the presence of terrorists in the area. The identity of the slain terrorists is being ascertained. Meanwhile, the operation in the area was still going on till the reports last came in. Further details are awaited.
In women's cricket, Sri Lanka defeated India by 7 wickets in the third and final T20 international at Dambulla this evening. Chasing the target of 139 runs, Sri Lanka made 141 for 3 with 18 balls to spare. Earlier, India won the toss, elected to bat first and made 138 for the loss of 5 wickets. Top scorer Captain Harmanpreet Kaur remained not out on 39 in 33 balls. The visitors have already won the 3-match series, winning the first 2 matches. Both teams will also play a 3-match ODI series during the ongoing tour. The ODI matches will be played in Pallekele between the 1st and 7th of July. In Wimbledon, top seed Novak Djokovic moved into the second round, defeating Sun Woo of South Korea 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 at the centre court today. Andy Murray will play world number 77 of Australia, James Duckworth, while the Spanish teenager Carlos Alcaraz will open his campaign against Germany's Jan-Lennard Struff tonight. Rafael Nadal will open his campaign tomorrow.
The Sensex and Nifty today surged 0.8%. Both stock indices climbed amid positive global cues, a report from the business desk.
The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 433 points to finish at 53,161. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange added 132 points and to settle at 15,832. In the forex market, the rupee remained almost unchanged against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 78 rupees and 35 paise against the American unit. Gold prices gained 180 rupees at the multi-commodity exchange for August contracts. The precious metal was trading at 50,800 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices also climbed 625 rupees to 60,375 rupees per kilogram for July contracts when reports last came in. And in the intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at $113.55 per barrel. Nishit Kumar for AIR News.
Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh flagged off vehicles carrying relief assistance and personnel of State Disaster Response Force SDRF Manipur for flood victims of Assam from Imphal today. The relief materials were sponsored by the Department of Relief and Disaster Management, Government of Manipur. The relief materials included 3 trucks carrying 135 quintals of rice, 102 bags of dal, 120 bags of salt, and 120 boxes of mustard oil. Along with the relief materials, 40 personnel of SDRF would be deputed to help in the search and rescue operations. The relief assistance had been provided through government-to-government contact, and the deputed SDRF personnel and relief materials would report at Lakhimpur district of Assam. The neighbouring state of Assam is badly affected by flood, and Manipur state governor is extending possible assistance towards the flood-affected people as a humanitarian service. Briefing the media during the flag-off ceremony, Shri Biren expressed solidarity on the worst situation of flood in Assam, which has affected people residing in 28 districts. NASA has successfully launched a rocket from Australia's remote Northern Territory, making history as the agency's first commercial spaceport launch outside the United States. According to Equatorial Launch Australia, the rocket blasted off at just past midnight local time on Monday from the Arnhem Space Centre on Dupuma Plateau near the township of Nullumbai. Monday's launch also made history for Australia as the first commercial space launch in the country. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. The minimum temperature will be around 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 40 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature will be around 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature there will be 28 degrees Celsius, and the maximum is expected to be in the range of 36 degrees. Srinagar is expected to have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. The minimum temperature will be around 18 degrees Celsius and a maximum will be 33 degrees. Jammu, Muzaffarabad, Leh and Gilgit are expected to have a mainly clear sky. Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Bengaluru and Thiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. In the northeast, Guwahati, Imphal, Aizawl, Shillong, Itanagar and Gangtok will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges rich countries of G7 to support India's efforts for green growth, clean energy, sustainable lifestyles and global well-being. Prime Minister holds several bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit. 47th meeting of GST Council to be convened from tomorrow in Chandigarh. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to chair the meeting. Opposition's presidential poll candidate Yashwant Sinha files nomination papers. Supreme Court grants interim relief to rebel Shiv Sena MLAs, says no decision to be taken on their disqualification till the 12th of July. Supreme Court refuses to pass any interim order on floor test till the next hearing. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists gunned down by security forces in Troopji area of South Kashmir's Golgam district. In women's cricket, Sri Lanka defeat India by 7 wickets in the third and final T20 international at Dambulla. And in tennis, Wimbledon Championship kicks off in London today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in. With that, we end the evening news. Good night.